like that. What you can do is you can cut a cup out of this one.
Okay.
Takes a bit of time, but it's like anything, the more you do of it, you get faster at this. So you can cut a cup out here. The way you do that then is you make a saw mark here and a saw mark here. And then you saw mark down to the line here. You saw mark down to the line here. You saw mark down to the line here. Saw mark down to the line here. Here. You make, I would make about at least 6 of them along there. Okay. Going right down. So you look at it like that, and the saw mark is going down like that. Then you can chisel it out, clean it up, and you do the same here. And one cup fits into the other cup. And it reduces that span between the two pieces. So then you can get a bolt down in between.
Oh yeah, that's clever.
Either a coach screw or a coach bolt.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just,
Cup and beak and
it's
all
all
that.
that. Okay.
And a hook.
And up there like that. And cut that out. And you think that that would just slot in, but it's not going to slot in 100%.
No, because you get a
You know
new
what?
angle.
Different angle.
Because it's going to drop an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it either way.
Grey water pipe.
Is a gravel bed. It's about 1 meter deep. Coarser bit gravel underneath and finer
And it's
gravel on
got
top.
a lot of holes in it.
And usually fully
To
planted
release
up in
the water.
comfort.
I don't want to dig this down. You just leave it on the surface because it's clogging up. And this is the grey water pipe.
On the way, I just showed.
Okay.
And a hook.
And up there like that. And cut that out. And you think that that would just slot in, but it's not going to slot in 100%.
No, because you get a
You know
new
what?
angle.
Different angle.
Because it's going to drop an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it either way.
By the membrane. Okay, membrane on top of that, then old carpet on top of the membrane, because your sods would have stones and you're walking on it, so you might, in order to prevent puncturing the membrane, we're putting some old carpet on top of that. And then the sods. Now, sod roof, meaning that you cut sods that are sort of lumps of earth like that with the grass. That is quite a heavy roof, and you need hefty timbers for that. Now these are pretty hefty. An alternative to that, a living roof that is lighter weight, is often referred to as a sedum roof. Sedum being a rockery plant that I can show you on a couple of our videos. Then you would cover the top of your carpet, which is on top of the membrane, merely with gravel, very little earth, and that the sedum, because it's a rockery plant, it thrives on very little earth. If there's more earth, it gets outcompeted by grasses and other plants. So
Later, and we weren't careful enough with the pitch, and this keeps a gap that we put gravel in, a gap between the sods, or the sedum gravel, and there's a drip gap, so it's dripping here. There's a bit in the detailing at the end to stop it from sliding off. That's the fascia board that comes up.
The water comes through here.
In order
And
to
it drips
prevent
down here.
the sods or what earth bits to be.
Grey water pipe.
Is a gravel bed. It's about 1 meter deep. Coarser bit gravel underneath and finer
And it's
gravel on
got
top.
a lot of holes in it.
And usually fully
To
planted
release
up in
the water.
comfort.
I don't want to dig this down. You just leave it on the surface because it's clogging up. And this is the grey water pipe.
On the way, I just showed.
It's so rainy outside. We bring everything inside.
And so on, and so on, and so on. Avoid the temptation to just keep going, because it's good fun and you do it really quickly. By tea break, you can have divided this building into straw bales. Do you know what I mean? Wow. To keep them level, obviously, like everything else. That's good there. Okay. You see here now? I can get my hand right through. You want to leave a gap?
And do you want to?
Yes, same here. We don't ram the bales up against each other. That'll become obvious for you now in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to split this bale in half because we're going to get to the end. Let's say this is up against the wall. This bale is here. We're going to need a bale to fit in here. So there's a method for splitting this bale in half. We'll try it there now. It's always a year since I've done this, and I could be setting myself up for embarrassment. We'll be honest. The bamboo is very fresh. We have this stuff growing here. Better if it's hardened a little bit. So we'll see how we get on. Might have to run out and get a bit of hard bamboo. If I do that, I'll just have a 5-minute break, yeah? This might not work out though. So I want to go through the bale, so the needle needs to be longer than that. So that's good enough there. So we'll make this into a little point. And then at this end, I'm going to make a little notch. Catch the string. Bale or twine, this is close. It's just plastic. Plastic string. So that's my needle. Hopefully that'll work. So I get enough string to go around. No, it's going this way. So I need to go all the way around. Join up here. So a bit extra. That should be plenty.
It's enough string to go around half a bale, is that what you...
Yeah, to go around half a bale.
Okay.
I need to do now is I need to restring it like this, but in 2 halves. So we'll have to do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So sometimes it works out straight away, sometimes it doesn't. Might have to have a few bales to sacrifice to dry it out. You could use them for your cob then anyway. So I tie this here. 2 little loops. So this is put together in slices. If we cut this and we take it apart, it will come apart in slices. So I'll get about. We'll decide for decide. I'm going to try and get the needle in between the slices.
Okay.
Okay, right. Very strong feeling. Just not going to go through. Ideally, I'm going to come up here close to the string.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. Now, so here's my string, here's my needle. I'm going to continue through. You keep a small bit of tension on this. And you pull it through. Okay, so that's one. It's a bit below it, but you know what now? I could be arsing around for ages and ages. And it is just a demo. We're not. Now, what happened there now? The string came off and we lost it. And we were building up the COBHOUSE wall up behind it. So we built up right up to first floor height. About, I'd say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 StrawBuilds high. And we were building up the cob wall gradually up behind it, you know. And somebody was showing my house to somebody else, took off the plastic. I showed the StrawBuilds and walked away and never covered it.
Oh.
I had to redo the whole StrawBuild wall.
Jesus, yeah.
It became compost for my garden.
Yeah.
So
All of them?
up to 70-80% of that StrawBuild, then you put on your next one. And you continue up into there, mostly up this one, and then you put on your next one and you build up. Do it slowly, do it gradually. you know.
just
Otherwise, we'd be doing that
tiny
with lime mortar.
layer of cob on the outside of the
It takes an effort to mix it.
straw bales, and then you plaster out.
It's not
Side
slip, no.
that.
It's the same stuff you're making the models out of. A sieved soil. But then you're just making it to a different consistency, essentially.
Yeah.
You're making it on the surface of the bale. Then I get slip,
Yeah.
and I sprinkle that on the surface of the bale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I'd smear on more slip again onto the bale,
Yeah.
onto the section that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And then I would start smearing on this coat a little bit, give it a bit of time to dry, smear on some more,
Yeah.
smear on some more, and you build up a layer on the
Yeah.
bales.
That's both sides of the.
The inside you're having your cob wall, and you treat it as you would any normal cob wall.
So what do you do the same sort of thing to attach it to the inside of the cob wall with the, like, you get it wet, or do you need to do
Yeah,
anything?
you need to get it wet, but not too wet. Like you're not going to turn on a hose and into your cob bale wall. Sprinkling water like that is enough. With a brush and a bucket.
Bless it.
Bless it.
Bless it. Yeah, like that. The other string.
Yeah.
Now, what I would do is get another 2 strings in here next to this. So I tie up this side as well. Now, I'm just going to split this one now.
Yeah.
This is a demo. Like what I'm tempted to do really is we'll just mess up the two details and everything now. Cross over. Cross over. Alright, so we want to do that. Get them nice and tight. So what we're going to do then is have anybody heard of a rigger's knot? It's a very useful knot if you want to tie something down onto something else.
If I tie two ends of string together.
It can be that, yeah, it can be for that, or it can be for tying down a load on a flatbed trailer or something like that. If you don't have ratchets, you get it nice and tight. So that's one loop, tight. Okay, I'm going to do it, put it back here. I'm going to do another loop. Here, here. Back enough from that one. If anybody wants to come up here and stand around and throw through.
Can I just ask you, John, you put the strings through.
You do the loop then. It's this. And you pull this one under and then.
So you want straw bales on the north side of your cob house because there is no need for thermal mass there because the sun is not shining there. So that's how we split a straw ball.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That have to do with the craftsmanship and you know, whether it's all done right and so on. That building control is in charge of. You apply for planning permission and you get it or you don't. Let's assume you get it. Before you start, you need to submit a commencement notice to building control. That's your engagement with building control. And there are certain rules that they tell you when you get planning permission, but some people don't read the small print. And so you have a certain timeline within which you have to submit your commencement notice a certain number of days before starting, and and then you have whatever 5 years that your planning permission is valid. If you forget to submit a commencement notice, but actually surprising number of people forget, then you can't come back to submit it later. So let's assume you've built your house and you're commencement notice. What was that again? And so that there isn't actually a facility for doing that afterwards, but because the assumption is that you're subject to being controlled at all stages. But if you forget that there is a sort of a maximum fine of a few €1,000.
But the commencement process starts when you start building, or it's before you apply for the plan?
Before you start building.
Yeah, so that's before you start building. So
After you've got the plan.
when you have permission,
Yeah.
before you start building.
You're
So,
better off, yes, sir.
So that's just sort of a bit of the conceptual framework. Then they always say when they give you permission, you have to build, you have to comply with building regulations. And they change over time. So in our 25 years here, they have changed at least twice. At least twice, yeah. And at some stage in 2014 or so, it became really, really difficult, next to impossible to self-build. And then they sort of realized that and they made an amendment. So now currently it's possible again. Currently you can self-certify, as in the onus for control is on the county council building control. Before the onus was on an architect or engineer to sign off, and you didn't actually have permission. If you complete a building without a sign off of an architect and so on. But at the moment, so in order, but it became a money racket, and those certifiers, not every architect, not every engineer is a certifier. They were charging exorbitant fees, and that came to the ears of the minister, and they had just a stroke of enlightenment and changed the law again, so that there was an option to not have an architect sign off on it, but to self-certify, to make it affordable again.
That is only for self-builders, really, for small projects. So the big guys who build housing estates, they can pay those fees.
Yeah,
Part of it.
yeah.
But little people, individuals can't really,
So that they made it legally possible again to build your own family home.
What does that mean to self-certify?
It means that you're opting out of professional certification.
So you don't have to have any kind of like.
Well, the responsibility is then on the self-builder,
Right.
to comply.
Yeah.
So the building regulations are quite specific and complex, and you just have to read them. I can't rattle off every like. It goes down to things like there's fire regulations, for instance. A staircase from downstairs needs to be a maximum of 6 meters from an external door and cannot go through 2 doors. So for fire exit.
Okay.
For instance, and that would be spotted already on the plan drawings, but so there are things like that. Currently, since 2020, there is the so-called NZEB, Nearly Zero Energy Building Code. Nearly Zero Energy Building. You can Google that and you can get lots of information about it. In some ways, it makes it easier again for the likes of us. And I'm not the ultimate expert to give you the full 3-day lecture on this. It's the responsibility really is on the owner builder to do the research. And I was talking to Fela Butler, who's the cob architect in Ireland.
She's unfortunately going very quiet these days, so we're not quite sure what the story with her is. We used to send everybody to her.
Yeah.
She's not really responding. So.
Yeah, I don't. She took a sabbatical, and then I heard she's back to being an architect. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
She's in Sligo. But she said, look, she said the same thing that I'm saying to you now. I'd have to do give you a really, really long lecture, but in a nutshell. And I'm sort of, I'm passing on the nutshell for that's the information that you might actually retain, that what matters. Under current building regulations, thermal mass, the real strength of cob, is not a category. It's not taken into consideration, unfortunately. I think because the building codes are usually written by the industry, and that's the concrete industry, and cob is so marginal. They either forget about it or they rule it out because no. Anyway, and it will not. I had conversations with head of architecture school at UCC, and there isn't an industry in it. There isn't any money in it. It will remain marginal. So we're all happy to be marginal. And however, so-called U value, insulation value. In America they call it R value. Never mind. It's a number. It's the lower it is, the better is the performance of the building material. And it goes. There are charts. It measures the loss of temperature in the air inside a building over time, and different materials slow that down at a different rate, and that gets a number. And I won't bore you with the unit. It's sort of watts and time and whatever. It's a mathematical number. The current regulation says you have to be below 0.16. Now, cob gets a rating of 0.6 for a 60 centimeter wall. It depends on the thickness. So there's materials and there's thicknesses. So Kingspan, surprise, surprise, gets a fantastic rating. Gets it always meets the building regs. And polystyrene and all these industrial materials, they're always spot on. However, our belief system, it's against my religion to buy Kingspan or polystyrene. So the gods that I bow to, my value system, wants natural materials, and we have to be more creative. We have to use the workarounds that the system still allows. The good thing is, you've learned about bale cob. There's straw bale in there. Straw performs quite nicely. So a straw bale wall meets the U value regulations. The whole thing ends up in a cumulative number. So there's number crunching involved.
Scoring points, overall points for how the house performs.
Exactly. Total wall length, roof space, window, double glazing, single glazing, triple, whatever it is. So that these people in building control, they look up charts and BER certifiers, the building energy rating. Every house that's bought and sold and rented, strictly speaking, needs a BER rating. And there's A, 1, 2, 3, and B, and C, and the worst is F, something, So, nearly zero energy building requires you to score an A2 overall. So, you can underperform in one category and overperform in another. So your bale cob wall will perform nicely and probably score below 0.16, and your pure cob walls in the south and southwest, say, will underperform, say 0.6. But you add up the total length and you do the average, and you come up with a...
And you might get really good windows. You might get triple glazed windows that score better, so that adds to your positive score.
It's like a mathematical formula to
Yeah,
work out.
or you might do, you put some solar panels on your roof, that'll add to your positive score. Even some tree planting can add to the positive score, so you have to just sort of manipulate the whole picture until it works.
So the requirement is currently for 20% of the energy needs of the house, heating and lighting and whatever, to be taken care of by the house or by the property.
Right.
That means that we actually outperform, like, you know, just our example here, we underperform in the mainstream assessment of the house envelope, say. Although our roof is insulated thicker than required, so then we improve the sort of the core rating, official rating of cob already, and we grow our firewood.
All of it, but a lot of it.
Yeah, and increasingly so. So, you know, eventually, by design, we're growing all our firewood, and consider that CO2 neutral because we're actually planting more trees than we're burning.
And we need our hot water needs quite a lot of it. So, you know, that's I suppose the juggle you can.
Yeah, and if so we're working towards, and it's possible to generate a lot of your electricity also. Ron says now, since he has his solar panels there for 8 months out of 12, he generates more electricity than he uses. So all of that gets added up, and while the house envelope might get an A4, not an A2, the overall calculation will probably get a straight A. But if you ask me what's the rating of my house, we haven't gone to the trouble. Nobody asked us. 42, which in our case is perfect because we're sort of galactic hitchhikers. So
and we know the house is comfortable to live in because we live in it, you know. So it can't be that bad.
You would think that would be the
Driest
first
and warmest
question
house.
asked, like, you know, the first question asked, like, are you comfortable? Are you warm and dry in your house? Yes. Thank you very much. It's all the other shite.
And this whole stuff is decision of the county council. So what you might get planning permission here for might be different. What you might get in Clare, what you might get in Sligo, in Dublin. It's you have to invest a bit more time if you're trying to get something like this past planners, and you have to educate them. You have to talk to them. You have to and hopefully get them on your side. I mean, one of the things, because they should support sustainable building and develop that kind of thing. And with us, they were going like, yeah, actually, we come and monitor your building because this is interesting. You know, we have to meet targets as well. They never did.
Yeah.
But that might be something how to get them. It's like, okay, this is really sustainable. Sustainable is good.
And Ireland is still a good country to actually talk to people.
The other thing I didn't mention, we mentioned the opting out of certification. That is good for self-builders because self-builders tend to not build that many houses and live in them. It might be different if you want to sell it on, then you have to sell an uncertified house. So, I mean, if it's a good house and it's kind of a niche market anyway, you probably will find somebody who will buy it because it's a nice house and it performs well. But I suppose that's the downside. It's not designed to build and sell. It's designed for you to build and live in it and not really sell. And the other obstacle could be a mortgage. So if you need a mortgage, you might need that engineer sign off your plan thing.
Banks usually insist on that.
They kind of do. And, I've heard one story, I've forgotten who told me that, and they were looking for a mortgage and they went into the bank trying to avoid the word StrawBuild, like highly insulated house and blah, 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 blah. And the guy in the bank was kind of starting to poke a bit. And as it turned out, he had watched a documentary the night before about StrawBuild and was really into it. So after a while, he kind of go like, "Is that what you're gonna build with?" And he was delighted. But you know, I suppose you need to be lucky for something like that. And sometimes maybe we should go on television, you know, to foster that kind of thing. But you know, so sometimes you find
Maybe we'll give in to the pressure one day.
Yeah.
Go on TV.
The paparazzi's knocking at the gate the whole time.
I suppose you might have caught that glimpse, all right. And we're not out there on TV and all that because we don't believe in the value of that medium.
it does. It helps people to see a little bit, and it's. But I think it's just the invasion of it, and you know. And your man with Kevin McCabe.
Don't go on that show.
Yeah.
Well, they're in Ireland. There's Duncan Stewart.
Yeah.
And
he was here actually.
Yeah. Not since we built the house. We want to be looking for that. Very involved.
I hope it's okay if I'm filming a little here. I just have to show the rest of the world what great places like this do.
Hello, world.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to have at least 2 showers in there. Okay?
This is amazing.
Free hot water. Lots of it, 250 liters.
Yep, this is what I want to do.
So we'll have a look at this house now in much more detail. Like what we do is we walk out this door.
Okay. A fast tour. It's the fast track today.
Come on,
Everyone in, everyone in.
Shove in, crush it. Come in.
Come on in.
So look, when you have a shower, you put these towels on the ground. Okay? That's there. Okay?
Then you shower.
Pull that over. You
Oh,
have your
it's so
shower.
beautiful.
If you really, really need loads of privacy, you have the neck is blowing down. Okay?
Now I see it in reality. I just see it on YouTube. Now it's. Oh yeah. The acre was this, Svetlana? It's a lot of land.
And he'll be very welcoming, he's sound.
Cash only.
I know, you've got, say you could tap your card in.
That's here last night.
Or is it cash only?
I don't know, but everyone there was using cash.
Probably, yeah, but cash is being thrown in a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Before we go in, I'll just say a few words about the house. So I got planning permission to build this being run. My neighbour got planning permission
Yeah. Oh, look at the weather. I think I need to put the belt on.
Oh, look at the houses. They're nice.
Yeah. Let's put the belt on. Okay. kitchen gang. Oh, this food is so good. And it's tea time. This is an important state of the day. Where is the tea? You know where the tea is? I'm looking for...
Black tea is in there, but the other herbal teas are out on the
Oh,
table.
it's out there.
Yes.
Right. Then we're good. Then we're good. Yes. So
So you always know when someone is in the back. I would actually make the longest poo ever and I'd never come out again.
Who's there? Go ahead.
yeah.
This bottle wall. Some Brazilian guys do it.
Oh, I love the song. That's my favorite. I love
Ah, sorry.
Yeah.
Have a look in. Open any door. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who's that? Oh, God. Oh, no.
Do you take confessions?
Turn on the tap.
So that's just
Why, well, that's all really, as I said, I think what we think about beforehand. How much control, you know, what you're saying, you have to kind of let go of this idea of being in control of my Yes. Just to say how you
And it's raining again. Whew. Summer rain. It gets so wet. Ulrika and Thomas' house, another cob-house. So this is their house. Beautiful garden. Oh,
down into those channels, and then at the bottom, at the back, it hits the chimney and then goes up.
ingenious.
And so the heat stays, does all this,
Yes.
so it has a lot of traveling
circulating and
instead of it
radiating.
just going straight up to have all that time to leave the heat in the in the surrounding mass. So there is the core of it, so this, and actually the channels are built with bricks. So the core of it with fire brick, because, you know, cob or something like that would be, and you do one firing, I do a few, but it was
Thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you for watching this beautiful scenario. Thank you for letting us into your houses and your homes and your creations. Thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for your beauty. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your flow. Thank you for your love and passion for this beautiful work that you have done and still doing. Thank you for meeting all these wonderful people gathering in one beautiful place. It's such a paradise. It's so beautiful. And this trip will remain in my heart forever. I have learned so much. And one day we will fulfill our dreams.